What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Poolside Chat. My name is Todd, and I've got a continuation of our APA 8-ball TriCup. Let's just ignore the thumbnail that I used here. I kind of explained in the last video. I goofed a little, but I fixed it for the actual thumbnail. We'll be all right. But let's jump right into this. So, last video was our first APA TriCup match. We ended up winning that one, which meant going from 9 a.m. one day, you don't play till noon the next day. So this is Sunday, hence the different outfit. It's time to get back at it. I can't remember where we actually sit right now in the match, but all I know is I came to the point where I needed to play. So I'm playing. I'm playing their high skill level. Shawn, different Shawn as you can see, but he's a 6. And for the first time in all of my TriCups, I actually lagged pretty decent. So I will take that. Therefore, I get the break. And apparently I'm playing on a very dirty table. Having to clean a lot of that. So let's get after some 8-ball. And I should say I've got a little bit of a head cold kind of going on. So if you hear me a little sniffly, I apologize. But I've got some trusty water. Try to hold some of this back a little bit. Don't kill you too bad, hopefully. Regardless, had a had a little too much. Or I think I had a bad kick on that one. Ended up scratching this low left corner off the break. So now Shawn's at the table. Looks like he is taking stripes. Can't blame him. I mean, if you look at it, really everything's open. The only real trick is how you're going to get back on the 8-ball. So at some point, you either need to break that out or, I guess, play for a bank, which, if you know the tables real well, by all means, have at it. But for me, I don't play this pool hall very often, so I'm not going to risk it. So this is pretty standard. I would just either do a stop shot or maybe even cut it a little to the right. That way the cue ball just gently rubs off the rail a little. Gotta hit maybe just a hair harder. You want to be, if you're going to go for the 9 next, you want to be a little more straight up and down. Because when you try to stop this one, cue ball could roll out. Yeah, and that's why he's changing gears, switching over to the, looks like the 10 ball. So that way he can come up. Ooh, got a little straight. If he was a little bit on this side of the tangent line, he'd be able to spin and get back behind the 15. But he did not, so came up on that one. If you notice a stroke, he tried to put some top, so he swung the cue ball up and got a little more stabby than he wanted. Unfortunately, with the camera angle, can't really see what he's doing. I'm pretty sure he's shooting the 9. Yeah, he went for the bank on the 9. I think he was trying to do a stop shot on it. Kind of hard when you got that much body movement, but he was trying to do a stop shot so that way he could at least see the 15. The only question is, like I said earlier, then what? Because that 8-ball is still hooked, and if you're leaving the 15 as your last ball, that's your main trouble ball. So you don't want to do that. So now I got to figure out. I've got a little 6-5 combo that can go, but other than that, I got to figure out that 4. It's not in the best of spots. So I am going to go ahead and take the combo. Taking my time, which I like to see for once. And not the best of leaves. I took my time. I just missed the combo. I was trying to worry about putting a stun shot so that kind of hold the cue ball. But all he has to do is just put just a slight bit of low. That way the cue ball comes out in the... Oh, never mind. Got behind it. So the good news is I'm at the table. The bad news is my 4-6 are not in any kind of better spot. Now I could make the 1, then play a safe where I push the 4 into the 15, leave the cue ball behind the 6. But that's a bit of a touch shot. Actually, if the 15's out of the way, I could bank the 6 into that 5. That wouldn't be terrible. Did it stick? I think it did. That's not a terrible save, Todd. Not too bad. Because even if he can see the edge of the 15, it ain't really going anywhere. And the best news, everything's open. So I will take it. Especially with that, I think that's a 5 ball hanging over the side. That's going to be real tough for him to try to play a safe on me. Because with that or the 6-4 down here, I mean, that's a tricky spot to try to hook me in any capacity. So let's see what he's got. Swing and a little bit of APA. Even he mentioned it. We'll say he didn't apologize, but definitely not what he was intending. I don't think he was playing that weird combo. Yeah, some people talk about the pool gods and pool karma, and that's what that was. If you make a ball and you didn't deserve it, sometimes pool karma comes back and not so much. So the good news is I'm back to the table, and I just need to put a little low, or could put just a little bit of right on the 4. Get that ball a little more. Yeah, see, I want to be a little more center table so I can take the 5. Because now I'm having to thin cut the 5, get a little wild with the cue, or thin cut the 2 in hopes that I don't actually disrupt the 5. And it's still early. There's a lot of game left, so it's okay to be a little aggressive because you could easily play a safe, kick the 2 to the rail, get the cue ball to roll up to the rail kind of behind it, or I should say behind the 5, leave them hooked. But instead, I am going to put some low, spin off the 5. I was trying to spin where I got around the 9, or at least at the left side of it, and I didn't. But left me long. I don't really have to worry about the leave a whole lot because the 8's a gimme. So I'm just hiking up, trying to essentially stop it. I shouldn't say stop because it was an angle, so the cue ball is going to naturally come back out. But mark your pocket, and that's 1. Let's go. Now it's an even race. Let's see what happens. Ooh, look at that 8 ball movement. Look at that 8. It was a dry break. Nothing went, but sure gave it a good try there. Oh, don't know what's going on with the camera there. If I remember correct, I had the tripod set up on a like this wooden chair that was kind of beside a table. So, I was probably trying to squeeze by the chair and got my belly in the way. Kind of hooked myself, as some people might say. So I made, let's see, what did I make? I made a solid. So trying to figure out, I think I'm starting with the 7, obviously, but I'm trying to see what my pattern is. Because, yeah, this is nice and easy. Just roll up on the 4. That way, give yourself an easy 5. A little off the rail. I like to do that. If there's one thing I learned watching pros, they don't usually do that real soft, delicate kind of pocket speed shot very often. If it's a wide open shot like that, they just put a nice, comfortable, confident stroke, let the cue ball come off the rail. It's okay to move the cue a little bit. You just don't want to get wild with it and spin it. But I am not taking my own criticism here because you notice I have not addressed or even really looked at my troubles. So I'm assuming by the look of it, that 2 ball, I must be able to split that 110 and be able to get to the 2 in the side. I just gotta hopefully draw back just a little so I can at least see the 1. That could be tough because I can't quite tell how straight it is, but it's gonna be close. So we got the league operator coming to take a watch of it, and unfortunately, that means he's blocking the camera. It's like he doesn't even care, you know. But I'm assuming it's legal. He kind of gave me the nod, like, yeah, it was good, just didn't make it. There is a chance if the 8 was hanging over the edge, I might have been firing it at the 8 to try to, one, let the 8 hit the 15, open it up, and then the 2 drop. But regardless, if it did drop and that was similar to the leave, I can't really see the 1, so I'd have been hooked. But look at that luck. A little bit of APA luck right there. And this is a ugly leave because, in hindsight, I'm going to pause this because I can't remember how fast I shoot this one. But I'm going to end up kicking at the 2 ball. But the problem is I got to hit it fairly firm where, one, I get the backside of the 2, thin it into the side, then the cue ball goes back to the other rail just to even be able to see the 1. So that is a insanely low percentage shot. I'd almost be just as good kicking at the head rail back at the 1. And then I've got the option of either get it all the way down or on the side, depending on how thick or thin I get. But you notice I didn't even look. I didn't even look at my trouble. But that's why I'm doing these videos, is to learn from my mistakes. Right? That's the whole point. And you if you followed me, you've been watching for a little bit, I am not just flaunting my wins and trying to be like, "Oh, look how good Todd is," because that's the least of my worries. I'm not doing this for glory. I'm not doing it for pride. I'm doing it to get better. So that's the only way I know how. So apparently, I am trying to, excuse me, I'm trying to 2 rail, if not almost get that 3rd rail just a little bit to love on the 2. But the problem is, it doesn't even go. It doesn't go anywhere. So this is where, yeah, you got to kick at the 1 at this point. Leave the 2 alone. Yeah, it's not in a great spot, but whatever. But I didn't even look at the angle. I just kind of knew, quote unquote, where I should be kicking, just kind of going off feel. But how'd that work out for you, Todd? Not great. Not great. So yeah, I like the idea of going with the 12 first to roll up behind that 9-11, because for the most part, wherever you leave yourself, you're giving yourself a shot. You do it lightly, you've got the 9, you overroll it, you got the 11. It should be good either way. So, yeah, he left himself that. Just got to get it. There we go. And he didn't overroll it, so he still can see the, what was that, the 13 there. So I hit this with top just a slight bit of right to get the cue ball to kind of roll straight back up. Just like that. And now you just take your pick. What do you want? I personally would do a stop shot on the 14. That way it leaves you a nice angle on the 11. Perfect. Because now you don't need a ton of draw. Just, treat it like a stun shot, but nice and firm. That way the cue ball comes at an angle. It's going to hit about that 3rd diamond, send it straight up table. I think he hit a little bit either top or a little more center. I definitely would have stunned that with some power to get it back up table. Don't you do it, because this could be a problem. Oh, man. He got just enough speed on that one. Ooh. A little love from the point to kick it out. Not a terrible shot. I would have either hit that with a little left and firm to get the cue ball back up, kind of middle table, or top right and then spin it around at least 2 rails and same thing, kind of get in the middle of the table. Give yourself a little bit more, a little straighter of an angle, but you know what? When you're a good shot and you're a 6, no big deal. So 1-1. Both of us had our opportunities and took way too many innings. So this was a rough match. This is a team that plays out of a small little bar, kind of a traveling league out south of town. So they're in our division, but they're not regulars of mine. I don't see them other than the occasional TriCup or world qualifier, something like that. They seem to be really good shots, but some people call them baggers. I just think for where they play, they don't have a ton of super high handicap. So if you're just a really good ball pocketer, you can move up pretty easily. So some people see their ability to make balls easily as, oh well, he's not a 4, he should be a 5, and I don't see it that way because I think even a decent 3 can still make balls. That's not the question here. But soapbox over. I try not to get harped too much on handicaps. Truth of the matter is I don't think I play in a very tough division. So I think a lot of people are artificially moved up. Therefore, there's a couple people that are, I'll just hypothetically say there's some 5s that probably should be 4s, but, you know, they've been a 5, so therefore they think they're a 5, but there's a lot more to the game than that. That's just my opinion. I'm not a league operator. I don't know the algorithm in any capacity. I just kind of base my feeling off of how they play the game, how their fundamentals are, how well they play safes or even consider safes. There's a lot of things I think about. And on top of that, while I'm ranting about handicaps, I don't just see a 5 as a 5 as a 5. You know, I see handicaps as almost like a 3 tier. There's a low, medium, high, or a good, better, best, however you want to say it. But that's just kind of how I've always seen the handicap. So a very strong 3 should destroy a weak 4. That's just kind of, I shouldn't say destroy per se, but I think they have a better handicap or a better option of beating a weak 4 just because of the race or the comfort level. So, like I said, I just think there's a lot more to it. Now, soapbox over. So he was smart. He left. I mean, he didn't really have a choice, but he left the 7 there. It was kind of playing into making my life a little ugly. I don't have a lot of option here because that, move your head, Todd. The 14-12 there, not great. Like I can start with the 10, but then what? So if you don't have a very decent or even a medium shot at a safe, or excuse me, at a run out, you should be playing a safe. The problem is how, because if I try to get off this, I might have been shooting that combo. But I think that's what I was trying to do. I think I was just trying to get the cue over here to the other side where he couldn't see I guess either the 3, or he might be able to see the 3, but that's like a 3-ball combo or something. That's very low percentage, and that's tricky. So that's the idea. Safes don't have to hook them. They just have to make their life super difficult. And that's all you're really trying to do. Lower their percentage of making the shot as low as you can. And some of that has to do with knowing your opponent. Some people are good ball makers, but they don't play position well. So, I used to have a team or a team I know. I guess I technically wasn't on it, but they used to call themselves the time release safety. So I'll give you a ball to make, knowing that you're going to fire at it, and then you're not going to have any kind of leave after that. So I'm essentially getting rid of one of your balls and forcing you to make a mistake. Not a bad idea if you think about it. So he's realistically, if he can get to that 1 ball right here, he is completely open. Because I think the one's blocking the 4, yeah. That was actually a really good shot. Good follow through. Good all around. So this is where I go ahead and take the 4, bring the cue ball back out, actually a little farther, so you have a stop shot on the 6, and then the 3. There's a lot of different ways to skin a cat, and I'm okay with this. This takes a little bit more control of the cue, so he can back cut the 3 into that what would be our bottom right pocket, but you got to hold that cue for the 6 is the only kind of issue. But it's so open, you don't have to get crazy precise necessarily. Like that. Overdid it. Overdid it. Did not need to get like that. Because now, I think the 6 goes by the 9 to get in that top left, but I'm not quite sure. So let's see here. But I mean, he's shooting at it. Oh, he might have actually been trying to take it. He might have been playing the carom off, what is that, the 13? Not a terrible shot. The only problem is he left that 6 in my way. Because other than that, like I could start with ball in hand. If that 6 wasn't there, I can roll that 14 all the way up. And then from there, I mean, whether I stop it, roll forward, however I want to do this. So now I got to try a real tricky safe because I got to combo the 14 into the 6, make that 6. If that 6 drops, I want to say he was going to be hooked on the 7. And then I had him. But that dang 6 did not go. Didn't go. So he just has to get out in the open between that 12-9. And ideally not over a ball, but you don't want to be over a ball because, yes, you can make that 7, but you need to put a little draw just to pull back for a cut on the 8. Because you don't want to roll forward and try to be shooting that 8 ball 6.5 diamonds up. No, I think he's telling me he bumped my ball, so now that is a foul. That sucks. I don't like that, but rules are rule, and plain and simple. He was asking to move it back, and when he went to go move it, his finger just chunked right at it. And I can already say I do not like this pattern. I do not like that pattern. Let's run this one out real quick. Yeah, I shot that. I was so worried about shape. Let's back up. Okay. So I'm okay with a 13 for where it is right here. Like, yes, I'm trying to take the 10, make the 14. I try to draw back so I can kind of get the cue ball back out in the open for either the 12 or the 9. When in reality, if I would stop and reassess right here, now you can slow roll the 12, then you take the 9 on the side, then you've got the 10, the 14, and the 8. Kind of play it in more of that square format, quote unquote. I think that would have been an easy little run out. But instead, I left myself a little close to the rail, which is why I'm hiking up. I'm trying to put draw so I can just rip it back and then come back out, which the draw was fine. Actually, I take it back. The draw was overdone because I ended up leaving myself a combo. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Sorry if you guys can hear it. Like I said, I feel a little stopped up. So I'm going to muscle through this one. I'm going to get through this video. And if you are watching this far, I will say my next video is a phenomenal 9-ball tournament match. So might be giving away a little bit away here. But regardless, my next video was one of the toughest matches I've had in a very long time. And it's a fun, very fun match. So you need to stick around for that one. So got himself a cut on the 6. I hit that with like top right, so the cue ball comes back out and gives him an easier 8. Instead, he hit it with kind of just center ball, just worried about the make, and left himself the bank. Good news is he can bank, so he still got it. He still got it. Oh, look at that 8. Whoo-hoo. Not only that, I think he looked like he made one of each, so it should still be open. Not like it matters, because I think he might be able to get around the 8 to the 15. But regardless, he's got the 2. Yeah, because that's the 10 over here on the other side rail. So yeah, you hit this with top just to roll forward. I would have hit definitely more top than that. Roll forward so that way you can get to the 1 ball on the side. Then with that leaves you the 7. Because that 7's really your only tricky one. I think he might be able to see it. I just worry about it getting a little thin, which means the cue ball is going to run on him. Just like that. So now he's a little bit in recovery mode. Because, yeah, he can see the 6. He just has to get it out in the open. But then you got to back cut the 5 with good speed. Ooh, nope. You notice in my videos, a lot of people have got a lot of body English. They hit these hard shots and they feel they just got to just dance with it. And you don't. You don't need that kind of body movement. So, anyway. So, yeah, he's trying a real tricky shot. He's trying to carry him off the 11 for the 7. That's going to be, it actually got a little too thick on it. That's a tough shot. That is a very tough shot. And realistically, he didn't leave me a whole lot. Because the 1 ball I want to leave is the 9. So now I got to shoot the 14, but I'm kind of in a bad spot of you got to make it. But I did. So we'll take it. We will take it. I can't tell what that is. A 14 maybe? It's at the right angle. I can't see it. That was a good stroke. That was a good stroke. Nice, smooth, real straight. Good drawback for a comfortable shot. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't just fire at the 11 because you at least need to have an idea of what that 9 ball even looks like. But I'm a little too over the 15. I should not be shooting that 10 right now. I need to go ahead and basically take your medicine, cut that 15, and then before you cut it, of course, figure out how you want to leave it. Yeah, so that wasn't very smart. I was in an uncomfortable spot. Take your medicine, cut that 15 in the top left, figure out before you do where's the cue ball going to go, where you're going to try to leave yourself. Ideally you want to leave yourself for the 10 with a bit of an angle, so you just make the 10, cue ball comes back out towards the 5-ish, and then you got the 9 in any of the top corners, and ball game. But I did not do that. Yeah, he tried to put a little low, but you notice he didn't really stroke it. He didn't get through it enough. But made a bank last rack. See if he can bank this one to this bottom right. Not only did he do it, left himself pretty. Sure, you want to shoot that 8 in the side because it's a gimme from almost anywhere. This is not a hard shot, let's be honest. Just like that, guys, I'm down 3-1. Not a great place to be. I got some mileage ahead of me. 4-1 is not a great race. Not like I'm shooting great, I'll be the first to say it. He's shooting okay, but he's shooting good enough that I need to turn this on. long as he doesn't make the 8. He got close last time. Got real close. This was inching that way after a Karen, but it was way too slow. So what did he get here? Looks like he made a stripe. He's got this, whatever that ball is on the side. I think that's 14. 12 over here. As long as it goes by the 1, he should be pretty good. He sure drilled that one. It's a very tough shot, but if he can make that 10, put a little draw just to pull, basically trade like a stun shot to where it just slides back between that 3-8, and then, pick them apart from there. But, oh, Nelly. My goodness, he should have hit that a little harder. Yeah, and look at that. Tied up the 1-5 with his 12. Ugh. No running out for Todd. I see if I can back cut that 3, if I can see enough of it. I think center ball, that cue ball goes right to that clump, but so I'm way too late to the game, but now I'm like, oh, okay, finally I'll play a ding safe. It wasn't even a good one. I mean, he's kind of over ball, a little close to the rail, but he can see that 15. That was not a great save. He's trying to come off the side a little harder to get behind, use the 7 as a blocker, and then force that 9-10 combo. Regardless, not a great outcome for me. Ooh, brother, you got to keep that tip down. Just barely missed. Just barely missed. This really wouldn't be a bad save. Go ahead and back cut that 12. Drop his 15. Send the cue ball up table. Kind of reclaim the duck position. Call that mine. Not even looking at it. So, I'm trying to make the 6 and hold it. Hold. It did not hold. So, you can definitely tell I am in pure aggression mode. I am trying to just take this guy out of rhythm, let him know that I need to come back. Good news is the 2's blocking that 9, which would be a fairly easy shot. From there he's got something to work with and get an easy out. So instead he's got a kind of a thin cut on the 12, run that thing, walk the dog all the way up essentially. That's going to be, I don't know if he can make it. Still got to hold the cue for a good shape, but I think he should be okay. But not when you drill it. He's like, it's funny recording people because the more that I record, the more I see the same antics from people. And it seems like, and I don't understand the mentality, but when you have a power shot and you're trying to really rip it, for some reason people just want to stand up. Just whoop, just as I say, you're trying to come out of your shorts. And I don't honestly understand why. I don't know if I've ever done it. But yeah, you're going to get more power just staying down and driving through the ball than you ever will getting up out of your shorts. But who knows? Either way, I've got an easy run here. I just need to go ahead and cut the 3, roll forward so I can have the 4 ball. TV timeout. We're gonna take a sip of the water while we wait. I'm checking my angle, kind of get an idea of what and where I want to leave the cue for the 7. And usually I try to hit this a little top right, same kind of thing where it squirts and misses the 7. But instead, went ahead and just natural English, rolled it. Now it still missed it, but left me with a much harder shot. So now, thin cut to win. Missed that. Ooh, don't you get up on it. Whew. Mark your pocket. Let's go. Whew. I I rented the whole pocket. I'm gonna use the whole pocket. I called bank shot. Just a little ding, 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 ding. Just gonna motorboat the pocket, as I've said in the past. I'm sure you guys know what that's from. I'm sure you know the movie. You motorboating SOB. Hey, she's still here. So not a great break. Definitely pulled some power back and looks like I might have even clipped the head ball just a little. I've mentioned in the past, I'm a second ball breaker, but I do it not to move for an 8 ball break. I do it just to get a good explosion and a good spread. But I clipped that head ball, which is why the cue ball did not actually leave myself a whole lot. End up going thin back here. And right out of the gate, I don't know why I shot that. I guess just because I want to leave the duck. The only problem is, for what benefit? Like, what could you be thinking? Because even if I slow roll the 12, that way I leave myself I guess I could slow roll the 12, back up the 15 into this low right pocket right there, and that's going to send the cue ball into that 13 and 8 and kind of open things up. So instead, I'm going to play the smart shot of a combo. Excuse me, guys. Hope you're not hearing that. Damn congestion. Problem is, I don't know if I've got the angle. That's tricky. I still got to figure out the 13. 13's not great, and I don't want to take a 3-ball combo. Please, Todd, do not take the 3-ball combo. And I know one of my viewers, good buddy of mine, Mike, is over here watching the video, probably proclaiming aloud, "Todd, shoot the 3-ball combo." I know Mike's doing it. No, Mike. No. Not a bad leave, as I dribble water down my shirt. Not a bad leave, because I'm forcing him to essentially take that 15, or excuse me, the 3-ball and open up my 15. 7 might go by here, but I don't know if I would take it, because even if it goes, what are you honestly leaving yourself? Besides a whole lot of nothing. Only good news is, what did he leave me? A whole lot of nothing. Like, I'm real close, so even a hike up, and I don't know, maybe I can bank it and split that 7-2 if it was perfect. But again, what am I unless I'd have to make that bank, little draw to be able to split the 2-1. Yeah, it left me in a real ugly spot, because I don't want to try to back up the 15 at this angle, because that's just rearranging the furniture at that point. Completely uncontrolled. So I was looking if I could even thin off of the 12 to try to get the cue ball, to this head rail, roll back up behind like the 8 or something in that vicinity. Ooh, slow down. I don't love this, but I might have an angle that I need to go walk around the table. Walk around the table, see if I can get off the rail, drop the 11, but I got to leave myself perfect between that 5-8 path and then be able to make that 13 in the make 13 the side. Again, not ideal. So I'm in recovery mode. I'm just trying to swing for the fences. I'm trying to gain my confidence back, get back in this match, and as I've heard some other people eloquently say, do 7-ish. One of my probably my second favorite coach I ever heard is 7 was playing. he was curious about a shot, so he called up a teammate who's a 6. And the guy's like, "What can I tell you what to do?" He's like, "Well, I've got a couple ideas. Should I do this or this?" And the guy, the 6, looks at him and goes, "I have no idea. Do 7-ish," and then walked away from him. I was like, that is quite possibly the funniest, one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Only second to my buddy Damon I think it was TriCup. I was down on my shot for the 8 for the win of my match. Not a hard shot by any means. And I get down, I'm doing my practice strokes, and I hear timeout. So I stand up like, "What are you talking about?" And Damon just comes up, ear to ear smiling, hands me a shot of Fireball, and says, "Cheers." So we take a shot. He goes, "All right, you're good," and walks off. I mean, come on. How do you beat a timeout like that? That's just a thing of beauty. So yeah, I know I've got a lot of APA players that are starting to watch me a little bit. I want to read some comments down below. What is a funny or a weird coach situation like that? I want to hear some good stories. Or if you don't want to do it there, come over to Facebook. Look at that, I tied up the 8 though. But yeah, come over to Facebook, Poolside Chat with Todd, follow the group, reply to me on there, make a comment. I want to hear some stories. That could be fun. That could be real fun. So, you see what I'm doing here? I'm looking at the line because I got to figure out how to get to that side right there to even be able to see the 8. So now the hard part is, how do you make the 12 to leave yourself as close to the 3 so a draw shot leaves you that 8 ball? And the answer is very good speed control. You've got to have some great cue ball control. So we're going to take a TV timeout, wait for this other guy to shoot. It's in the hole. All right. So slow down, Todd. Think about this. So low with just a little bit of left. Medium speed. Just spin it over. Got a little more than I wanted. Yep. Got a little more than I wanted. So right here wouldn't be a bad option. You see, I'm thinking about it. I almost need to just bank it because that'll give me an angle that the cue ball will slide in that same direction. But lowers the make percentage is the hard part. So let's go, Todd. Somebody must have made a comment or something for me to stand up and acknowledge them. Oh, oh, that was it. Oh, I just got a hair thin. Dang it. That was close. That was close. Because if that goes in, look at that leave. Crashed right into everything. I mean, I hit it way harder than I intended, but almost, like I said, I still think I might have should have banked it. Treat it like a stun. That way the cue ball just slides over in that gap. But instead, I just barely missed. Now Shawn is back at the table. Let himself a little straight. He's still got to cheat the pocket here on the 4, so that way the cue ball gets around the 5. Just like that. Good shot. He let himself a little straight, really. Because as a lot of pool players will say, you never want to be straight. But at least he kind of punched it like a half a ball or so, maybe a ball off the rail, so he's got a little bit of comfort. Got to make it. He doesn't have a lot of choice. Just make your ball. And he's drawn. Oh, where are you going? Oh, I remember the shot. He left that 8 ball. He bumped it where it is just ever so slightly in my way, so I can see the ball full, but it goes straight into the point. So, and you can see where the cue ball is at. I'm real close to the rail, so it's hard to get any kind of good cueing action. But I'm looking at it thinking, if I hit this with enough uh, low and a little bit of spin to throw it, I should be able to drive it in. Cue ball comes off the headrail, bounces straight back out, but I just have to miss the 8. And I didn't. And I didn't. He definitely got a little lucky on some of his leaves on this one, didn't he? But that's amateur pool, guys. You can get mad about it. You can say this guy gets lucky, whatever. But tell you what, don't go throwing stones on the glass house because every single one of us has done it. Sure, some people seem to play the game a little different to rely on it, but that's amateur pool, man. Not a single pro on my channel, I promise you that. So, regardless, 2-4, not a great match. I definitely got way more aggressive than I needed to. Kind of a precursor story. The 2 matches ahead of time, we did not perform well. Both of my teammates got crushed pretty bad, and we were just not in the right headspace. I had to put myself up third with the idea of I have to crush. There's no option. So, and I feel like we won our 4th match and then lost in the 5th. So APA rules, it's guaranteed 2 plays. It's not double elimination. It's modified single. So we won our 1st, kind of pointless. We lost our 2nd, and we're out. Everybody that plays APA, you all been there. You all know the experience. It is what it is. But it gave me some content, gave me a couple things to look at and see. I have a major tournament this weekend that I am super excited about. I need this little sinus thing to go away because I need to have 100% focus. There's the Midwest 9-ball tournament down in south part of town. There are a couple pros. I know Sky Woodward's going to be there, Chip Compton, just a couple others. Shane McMinn out of Oklahoma, kind of a semi-pro. There's going to be some big names. A lot of upper 600, 700 Fargos, and then measly old Todd at 550. Fingers crossed. Let's not go 0-2. That's the idea. And hopefully some people don't mind me recording so I can make some good content for y'all. But anyway, as always, if you're still here, and I truly hope you are, thank you for watching. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Love all of my subscribers, so click that button. And until the next one, I've got a fantastic 9-ball match coming for you. Stick around. Thanks, guys.